Hello, everyone. Today I am here to talk to you about some of the symbols or the representation in the Black is King album, visual album by Beyonce. I'm not here to talk about any of the controversy, simply to break it all down to you because I feel it has a lot of metaphysical code and symbols that might go over people's heads. So now the Lion King story is one of self-actualization, is one of going back to your roots and remembering who you truly are, remembering that you are a king. Beyonce is seen and depicted as the Black Madonna, here holding her child, holding the heir to the throne, basically. And she is representing the divine feminine, the mother, the ancient mother. The wise one also can be Mother Earth, depending on how you look at it. And right here, she's showing you ancient traditions that are held in high esteem. She's telling you to remember who you are, remember where you are from. She's depicting herself here as the Black Madonna once again, and her children are divine figures. And also the twins represent Ibeyi or Ibeji in Europe, in the Yoruba pantheon. So here you have the goddess Hathor. She symbolizes wealth, cattle, motherhood, and nourishment. Cattle represents wealth here. You can see Hathor or Heteru from ancient Egypt. Now the water represents the divine feminine and also connects the motherland to the diaspora. Beyonce does love to depict female energies. Like, for instance, right here you have the goddess Aje or Aye, the goddess of wealth, the wife of Olokun, the god of the deep sea. Right here, she's representing Oshun, which is her typical archetype. Then here you have Oya, and then you have Yemoja, the divine mother, and you have a goddess people don't usually talk about, Obanani, who is the more homely figure. She's seen as the first wife of Shango, but we'll talk about Obanani much later. So here you've got the Dogon tribe of Mali. The Dogon tribe is an ancient tribe that refused to be influenced by Western culture, and they believe that they originated from the star system Sirius, right? Their traditions, their ancient rituals are actually in sync with the movement of this particular star system, and they rely on oral traditions like most African cultures, right? So she's telling you to wake up. It's been a long time, but remember who you are. And she's saying, Daddy used to tell me, look up at the stars. This represents the metaphysics behind coming from the stars. As you can see, she is wearing sequins. This also represents being a cosmic being. Your soul is cosmic. Yes, your body is of earth, but your soul is much more than you think. That's why this boy is traveling. His soul is traveling and landing on earth, and she represents obviously a cosmic deity too, the triple black goddess. So here the video is being recorded mainly in Egypt or in North Africa. That represents Egypt, and that also symbolizes the Dogon's connection with Egypt. And then you have the green man. The green man is metaphysically the original man. Osiris is depicted as green, and he's the Egyptian god of vegetation, pre-birth, and resurrection. He's a divine masculine figure. Now Isis helps to resurrect Osiris. If you know the Egyptian mythology, meaning the divine feminine puts the divine masculine together so he can be resurrected. And Beyonce here represents Isis. You see she's also in black and green. Then the star behind her is the soul of the boy who landed on earth. I know most people have not seen the video, but I'm trying to explain as much as I can. Then here you can see that Beyonce is talking about extraterrestrial DNA. Scientists claim that humans in what is now West Africa procreated with another group of ancient humans that scientists did not know existed, and analyzed genetic material from hundreds of people from modern-day Nigeria and Sierra Leone have found signals of what they call ghost DNA. Now, the moon behind Beyonce in this picture also depicts the divine feminine aspect. Simba then goes on a little adventure out of curiosity. He goes into what you would call the dark side, the underworld, where he's confronted by a man who asks him who he is. Now, the snake here represents the Kundalini energy, and this scene pays homage to Pombagira and Eshu, which are the Bonnie and Clyde of the Santeria, the Orishas of the Santeria, and Santeria is a spiritual system from South America where the slaves that were taken from the Yoruba land kept their culture in the Americas, and then they mixed it with the Catholic saints. So Yemi Alade here represents Pombagira, and Lord Africana represents Eshu, or Eshu, as typical Yoruba people will say it. So the pronunciation is often different. Now, this scene depicts a funeral on Mufasa being buried, right? But they are wearing all white because it's seen as a celebration of life, which is how most black people have seen death, especially when you pass at an old age. And white also represents purity. Now, in Mood Forever, black wealth is represented in the diaspora. Beyonce is basically stunting and talking about her own life. So you see Jay-Z playing a chess move against a white butler. What this is trying to say is it is very strategic. If you're trying to get your power back, you have to do it strategically, and then there has to be some unity across the board. These people are playing chess with you. It's not just about protesting, it's about having certain ideas, having a game plan. He also talks about the light and the dark energy, balancing the energy. Look at how the people are acting as figurines. Beyonce represents the queen. So you have to balance the light and the dark energy. You can't be afraid of the dark and talk about being balanced. You can't. Most of the universal energy is dark primal energy anyway. Now, this hot pink represents Obanani. So Obanani, that's what the diaspora calls her, but Obanoni, or Oba, like the Yoruba calls her, is a divine feminine. She is seen as the first wife of Shango, and she has a lot of the nurturing secrets, a lot of the housewife secrets that have been passed down from generations. Now, in the Already video, you can see Beyonce starts off wearing an outfit with crescent moons. This also pays homage to the divine feminine. So throughout the video, she is the divine feminine, right? And the men represented as divine masculine, like cattle behind Shatawale. The cattle representation does stand for wealth, and Shatawale is going back. He's the king already. You as a black man should know that you are the king already. Or as a black person, you don't need to be told that. Don't mind what society tells you. This talks about you taking your power back, and this shows a perfect fusion, a blend of the divine masculine and feminine energies. That's why you can see also representing Oshun here, and the divine feminine looking glorious. So this is a homage to black people, you knowing who you are spiritually and not just physically, right? Then here you have the pink and the green, which represents the upper and the lower heart chakra. Now this just has to do with like transmutation of energy and you healing your heart chakra so that you can have balanced love between the divine masculine and the feminine. And the song says, "Come and drink from my waters," or "Let me replenish you." It's the water song with Pharrell. What this shows is the divine feminine reminding the man of who he is if he seems to have fallen off. And these purple suits over here are representing the crown chakra. That's the men jumping up the Maasai tribe. It's sort of an initiation into the crown chakra, into the higher knowledge of self. Now right here you can see all the flags across the diaspora, right? And I'm talking about African flags and Caribbean flags, and the American flag is seen as the red, black, and green. Now, this story mostly pertains to people in America. She's talking about what is going on in the United States, but then it can also apply to most people in the world. So the red, black, and green represents Pan-Africanism. Now, in the Brown Skin Girl video, she pays an homage to the black woman, the divine feminine. You are beautiful in your true form, no matter your. She shows pictures of beauty across the board, across the continent and across time. And this picture right here depicting multiple races also has to do with the fact that all races stem from the black woman. We have the oldest DNA. Now you have the more beautiful pictures of black women, and then the divine masculine and feminine on a horse. This shows balancing of the energy. You need to, transmute that heart chakra, know who you are, and restore that balance. So now this story here is the story of Oshun Ibikole. So as Beyonce has shown throughout the video, she's taken on the image of Oshun, and the story of Oshun Ibikole is one of self-sacrifice. So she sees that there is a lot of hunger in the land, she sees that there is famine in the land, and she decides to go to Olofi. She decides to strip herself of her beauty and turn into a vulture to go to Olofi to cure the drought in the land. So this drought is symbolic for drought of knowledge, is symbolic for understanding who you truly are or forgetting who you truly are. And she is depicted as Oshun Ibikole because she's willing to do the work. She's willing to expose everything and go against the system, or whatever it is you might call it, if you believe in that. So that's why. So in this story, in Black is King, she gives up her son, right, just because she knows she can't survive with him. She can't make the journey with him, and later they're finally reunited. This pataki, or as some people will say praki, I like saying that word. This pataki shows how Oshun was crowned the Queen Yalode because she was willing to do what other people were not willing to do. That gave her her divine status as the Queen Yalode, the Queen Bee. On the song My Power, the union of the red and blue makes purple. Purple represents the crown chakra, which is the highest chakra of knowledge. So it's saying instead of fighting against each other, coming together and being divine. Now red is also the color of war, and the song is saying my power. That means my power comes from my self-knowledge, my magic. And this lady is representing the dark and the light, the masculine and the feminine, the both polarities, and she has the infinity symbol on her head. Now this tree is the Baba tree, and that is said to be where the Orishas live. It's the tree of life. It's an ancient tree that was said to be able to live for up to 3,000 years, and I think the white flower on that tree represents sustenance. So it was said that the Orishas, or the ancient gods and goddesses, came through the baobab tree or lived on that tree. So after Sinbad returns to the Orishas, finds his way home and finds his way into higher consciousness, then you have Beyonce here singing with a choir wearing indigo or purple, again representing the pineal gland, and she is singing. That represents the universe, represents one song in harmony with one another. Overall, I love the nice blend of cultures and the hidden meaning behind it, at least the spiritual meanings that I broke down. So if you don't understand certain things, please feel free to DM me. I know this can be a lot to take in. Just DM me if you have any questions and I will answer. Thank you. Have a nice day.